every generation, across every path you walk. Different paths, one strength. On the 30th of May, 2026, we run together.
For the girl child.
For the women.
For Zambia.
Let me stand under the flag of our land, Zambia, praise to thee, oh heart, strong and free. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. To open for us in a word of prayer is Ms. 𝗙𝗵𝗶𝗹.
Shall we bow our heads for prayer? Our great God Jehovah, who is in the third heavens, first of all, Lord, we want to thank you for the blessing of life today. Father, as women, we have gathered to discuss different issues pertaining our well-being. We pray, dear Father, that whatsoever will be discussed, Heavenly Father, may we be able to put it into practice and help those that may be in need. Lord, we pray that as we continue with this program, be upon us, be amongst us, and let us be able to discuss things that will help us even as we try to help each other as women. We pray that may you be with us throughout the day. May you protect us even as we depart. We leave everything in the precious, holy hands of our mighty King Jesus, now and forevermore. Amen.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. Ladies and gentlemen, you may take your seats. I do take note that the Honourable Minister will not be with us for a very long time, owing to the fact that she's got business to attend to. I think we may all be aware that Parliament is at its very, very busy stage, and so we will permit her to be with us, not for too long, but to do what she has been assigned to do, and we're very grateful for that. The Minister of Justice, Honourable Princess 𝗙ecie MP. I recognize Dr. 𝗙ecie𝗺 from 𝗙ecie, Dr. 𝗵𝗵𝗶𝗹 from 𝗙ecie. I recognize the women's activists. I also recognize the girl child in our presence. May I simply say the panelists that are in our midst. It is my honor and privilege to recognize our sponsors in this room. I also recognize various cooperating partners that are present. Our hosts, wonderful group of companies, the girl child, the press. Ladies and gentlemen, may I simply say, all protocol observed. It is my honor and privilege to welcome you today to a very wonderful discussion that seeks to get the best out of us in terms of the conversations around mental health. Today we gather to tackle a very important theme, the enough conversation, themed "You are enough, but does your mental health let you believe it?" Ladies and gentlemen, most medical practitioners will say there is no health without mental health. And as we celebrate the girl child, it is only important that we touch on thematic areas such as mental health. We're grateful that you could make time to be a part of this very important occasion, but also to partner with Wonderful Group in the many different noble efforts we have towards society. We have the biggest marathon that is coming up, dedicated to the girl child. And seeing this room full of the girl child, somebody once told me we're all a girl somehow. So it's beautiful to see a room full of the girl child. And of course, your presence here speaks to the commitments that you have to ensure that we have a better Zambia and a better world for the girl child. So for being part of this noble cause, please give yourselves a round of applause. My name is 𝗙𝗵𝗶𝗹. I'll take the responsibility of being your director of ceremony. It is my honor and privilege at this point to invite to deliver special remarks a representative from Wonderful Group. As she comes through, please let's give her a round of applause. So after the welcome, now, just greet her and welcome her. She's got to go, and then just welcome her. The guest of honor. The guest of honor, Honorable Minister of Justice, Madam 𝗙𝗵𝗿 MP, Dr. 𝗙cie𝗺 from Zanako, Dr. 𝗵𝗵𝗶𝗹, the legendary Sister D, and all distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I'm not going to give the full speech as the minister is in a hurry, so I just want to welcome you all to Wonderful Group headquarters, and feel free as we are going to have this powerful conversation. Thank you. Thank you so much, representative there from Wonderful Group of Companies, which now brings us to the keynote address that will be delivered by the Honorable Minister of Justice. Honorable, it is my honor and privilege to ask you to deliver your remarks. Let's give her a round of applause, please.
Right. How are you, ladies? If you know anything about me, I'm usually very elaborate. I take time, I hug everyone. But today's just not the day. I apologize. We had planned this event at a time when I would have been outside. Parliament should have ended on Friday. We could have had time together. I would have had selfies. This is the last day of the 5-year term as members of Parliament. So you can imagine the pressure, you can imagine things that needs to be done. But what an exciting way to end my last day in Parliament as a member of Parliament and indeed a Minister of Justice. Your first woman ever to hold this important office. So I do not take it lightly. Zambians, you have been gracious. Even those that did not support me in the end, they said, "You have done it. Yes, we can do it." And so we have done it together. To the program director, thank you very much. Group CEO of Wonderful Group, thank you. Distinguished guests, and indeed our media. I love the media myself because media will make you or break you. So that's something you need to learn right on the onset. And indeed, all the cooperating partners and sponsors, ladies and gentlemen. It is a pleasure to join you today for this enough conversation, an important forum being held as part of the activities leading to the wonderful group Marathon 2026, as we have already heard. First and foremost, I hope those of us who cannot run can come for the walkathon. I would love to join you. I would like to recommend wonderful group and all stakeholders involved for creating a platform that brings attention to the issues affecting women and girls in our country. The theme of this year's marathon, for the girl child, for the woman, for Zambia, speaks directly to matters that requires serious attention from all sectors of society and from all of us, especially as women. We handle a lot. Ladies and gentlemen, the challenges facing women and girls today are real, and they are of great concern to the New Dawn government under the able leadership of President 𝗙𝗵𝗶𝗹, who also serves as the African Union President champion on ending child marriages. It is common knowledge that issues such as gender-based violence, limited opportunities for women and girls is real. Economic inequalities and social pressures continue to affect many of the women and girls' lives in our communities. And your government, which is a listening government, is paying attention to these issues and concerns, and I hope you know that we are responding positively. Many of you went to the streets to ask for no bail, no bond, and we did hear you. Sister D and all my female activists, let's hear you louder when government does something, eh? We need your loud voices there because you matter. Your government continues to listen and is paying attention. We have made amendment to the Constitution that will reduce some of the inequalities, but also, let me take this opportunity to say, 20 seats of women. Women, I'm telling you, as a woman to woman, as your Minister of Justice until Friday, you need to run in the constituency-based constituencies. Because there we have 226. So the 20 women that are coming, it's a good thing. It's an affirmative action. It is a proportional representation. 20 women, 15 youths, and 5 persons living with disability. Now, how many are you as a country? Yes, yes. It is great, it is historic, but here's my push to all of you once again. As long as we do not run in the constituency-based constituencies, our numbers will still be Muveras man. My girls, are you listening? So please, we celebrate the affirmative action, but we realize there's more to be done. And don't come late to the elections. Mary is standing. How? Mary, you'll be left out. Start immediately. Once we come in, I'm not saying disturb the sitting MPs, but begin your interactions. Find who are the kingmakers in every area. Sometimes it's the old woman. It's the old man who don't even have titles. So I'm giving you leakage. As government, we recognize that addressing these issues requires more than policy statements. It requires partnership, awareness, education, and consistent engagement with communities. And this is where we say thank you to all the key partners that are here, wonderful groups, Zanaco, I see, is that Fitz? I don't know whether that's the company. Trade Kings, you are here, Beatrice. So, I mean, we see all of you just to say thank you. This is why such forums are so important. Away from listening to people like me, it is the interactions that you all are going to have. Because when I look in this room, I see not only smart people, I see intelligent people, I see gorgeous people, and I see people who can do it. And yes, you can. So, let's face these conversations with honesty, and indeed, as we discuss around these tables that we are in, the realities of women and what we face. Many of us, we want to create a safer, fair, and supportive society. And guess what? It is us women who are usually in these conversations. Are they not women? Huh? The ones who teach women when you get of age, I don't know. Me and Sister D, when we were young, when you became of age, which was usually around 15 years old, although nowadays young people are getting of age at 9, 11, so the world has changed. But those days you have to go and So even if when you went to school, you came back in the evening, they taught you, who was teaching? Is it not the women? So why do we perpetrate things that are not comfortable, which are not good for women? So those are the things we need to think about, because at the end of the day, we shouldn't just play victim. We tend to be also perpetrators of the very vices that we are against. And that must come to an end. So ladies and gentlemen, I'm particularly encouraged to see how the private sector is taking part in these conversations. Corporate institutions have influence and far-reaching abilities. And when they choose to support meaningful cause, they contribute positively to the national development. The wonderful marathon is therefore not only a sporting event, but also a platform for awareness, unity, and advocacy. As we move closer to the marathon on the 30th of May, I encourage more organizations, community leaders, citizens to support this very important initiative and participate actively. Like I've said, some of us may not run. Madam, we can come and walk along, and that's okay too. So the empowerment of women and girls is not a woman issue alone. It is a national issue. When women are empowered, communities become stronger, families become more stable, and nations develop more effectively. It is important, therefore, we continue to create spaces where women can speak openly, freely, and girls can be heard and feel encouraged. Is this, I think it's Eleanor who said that people do not remember usually what we say. You know that the speeches are written for me, right? And you can see when I'm speaking from myself and when I'm reading. It's more on a different side. So Eleanor once said that people remember how you made them, not necessarily how we said and said. That's why I'm so upset. I can't be with you. Because I would have loved to hug you. I'd have loved to feel your warmth. And your story matters. Please find ways and means to share your story, because your story matters. Therefore, as we have the pause in the few months, I encourage more women to take bold steps as members of Parliament. This is a little bit late, unfortunate. If you haven't taken the bold step, support women out there. Again, let's not allow the narrative that women are being put in their positions because they are women. No, because they can deliver and then they are women. So allow me, therefore, once again, to congratulate the organizers for this initiative and thank all the sponsors and partners supporting the campaign. I wish you all a very successful day, and indeed, may your discussions never make you go back the same. And a successful marathon campaign ahead. Thank you very much. God bless you. God bless Zambia, and God bless our children, especially our girls. Thank you.
Please do receive from NACO as you head out. We know that as Parliament adjourns Senate Day, you might go into the midnight hour and beyond midnight. So please do have some teas. I believe that tea will keep you awake. And this is, there we go. ZANACO is our lead sponsor in the wonderful marathon, among the sponsors in the wonderful marathon. That one must be PR. you and Dr. 𝗙𝗵𝗶𝗹𝗭 from Trade Kings have something in common, eh? Let's give a round of applause to the minister as she heads out. Thank you so much for gracing us this morning and for taking time to deliver your remarks today. Thank you. Let's have the girl child come. Please, quickly rush and have a picture with the Honorable Minister. Very quickly, 𝗙𝗵𝗶𝗹𝗭. So 𝗙𝗵𝗶𝗹 will be part of our panel this morning representing the girl child, and it's only right that we also allow her. Yes, please. She might be the future Minister of Justice, right? Thank you so much. Do you have time for the entire panel? Very quickly? Yes. In just a minute. I know who I'm going to have this job. Please, you only have a minute to do this. I think let's really be conscious of time. Okay, so at the count of 3, you will say wonderful marathon, right? Sadako. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Wonderful. Powered by. I see what you did there, Dr. Tata. Thank you so much. God bless you, Honorable Minister.
What did I say about Zambia?
I was expecting you to say something. Thank you. All right. Ladies, we will have just a break for 2 minutes just to allow us to transition to the next stage. Just for 2 minutes, we'll be back. Thank you.
I feel like I haven't heard.
To every woman, you are important. In every stage of life, in every space you stand, in every journey, across every background, across every generation, across every path you walk. Different paths, one strength. On the 30th of May, 2026, we run together.
For the girl child. For the women.
For Zambia.
I really need to redo do the introductions. Very quickly, I'm going to pass on the microphone, allow you to introduce yourselves, and then we get into the conversation. I think during my salutations, I did mention some of the delegates, but it's only right that I give them an opportunity to introduce themselves. So we'll start right at the far end, Sister D, and then we move down the side. Please go ahead.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Dr. 𝗙𝗵𝗶𝗹 from the International Hospital of Zambia.
Zinayanga ndine Dapotsa Nkata, ndine musician, activist, ngatumufuna mungani internet Sister D. Zikomo kwambiri.
Dr. 𝗙𝗵𝗶𝗹 Bridget, Head of Communications for the Trade Kings Group. Thank you and good morning. You look fabulous, by the way.
Good morning, ladies. Dr. 𝗙cie𝗺𝗵𝗭, Executive Head of Client Solutions at 𝗙ecie𝗺. Nice to see you all.
Good morning. My name is 𝗙cie𝗺𝗭. I'm representing the girl child of Zambia. Lovely to be here.
Good morning. My name is 𝗙𝗵𝗶𝗹. I'm the founder and CEO of a brand called 𝗴𝗵𝗶𝗹 here in Lusaka. I'm glad to be here.
Hi, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Pastor Gladys Paswani. I am a leadership coach, consultant, and a pastor. Let's give them a round of applause. I was asking Pastor if she's also a doctor because I saw the doctors, and I just said, you know what? Doctors really don't like it when you miss that DR. Because they work so hard to get there, isn't it? So you don't want to miss it. So am I right to just say, Pastor, it's okay? We're good to go. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, I did mention that we have a panel discussion, but preceding that, our remarks delivered by our sponsor, ZANACO, and here to deliver that speech is Dr. 𝗙𝗵𝗵𝗹. Let's give her a round of applause, please.
Good morning, ladies. Some energy in the room. We need the vibe. That's the women in the room. Good morning, ladies. Good morning. Team ZANACO, I can't hear you. Good morning, Team ZANACO. You see how loud we are? We are loud where we come from. It's an absolute pleasure to be here this morning with all of you. And we're just so blessed to have had the minister come. This is her last day in Parliament. You know how valued you are for her to make that time to be with us. Yeah? So turn to the lady next to you, say, for the girl, for the woman, for Zambia, and we are Zambia. A big hand for yourself, lady. So to the representative from the wonderful group, to the speakers, my sisters on stage, the lovely ladies, Bridget, Chomba, Sister D, Chawezi, our girl child, Pastor Paswani. This lady has mentored me even before knowing that she mentors me. I follow her and she's absolutely amazing. And of course, our lovely, eloquent director of programs, 𝗚𝗏𝗏𝗧. A big hand for her. I think sometimes we often forget the MC, but because I've MC'd a lot, I make sure I don't forget the MC. They're usually forgotten. So Director of Programs, you're doing amazing. We value you. We appreciate you. To the ladies in the room, you look amazing. Our media partners who are there to tell our story and to take the narrative out there, we value you and we're grateful that you are here. Good morning, everyone. So we need to count ourselves blessed, but we need to support that girl. We need to find that girl. And we need to make a difference. Why is today important? The wonderful group marathon, powered by ZANACO, is not just a sporting event. It is a statement that mental health is important, that women and girls deserve visibility, they deserve protection, they deserve support. That wellness must include both body and mind. At 𝗙𝗵𝗶𝗹, our commitment to women extends beyond today's event. Through our women's banking proposition, led by Rachel. Rachel is in the room. Rachel, please stand. She leads our women's banking proposition. Please give her a hand. For all your banking needs, Rachel is here. So at 𝗙𝗵𝗶, our commitment to women extends beyond today's event. Through our women's banking proposition, guided by the principle of believing, achieving together, we are driven by the understanding that when women are believed in, they gain the confidence and the resources to achieve their goals. And when women achieve, families, communities, and our nation prosper. Believing means listening. So today, I'm hoping that we'll take time to listen to these fantastic women who are here before you and who will be speaking to you. Let's listen and let's learn. Believing is supporting. It's creating a safe and inclusive space, including addressing mental health issues, which we'll address today with empathy and with action. Achieving together means removing barriers, whether financial, social, or emotional, and walking the journey side by side. Just as no one runs a marathon alone, one woman should never have to face life challenges alone. As 𝗙𝗵𝗶, we believe corporate leadership means stepping beyond boardrooms and balance sheets. It means standing where it matters the most, with our communities, through partnerships that have ensured that young girls can travel to school safely. Our partnership with Wonderful Group represents a shared belief that collaboration can drive real and measurable change. As we prepare for the marathon, and I hope we're all taking part, as we prepare for the marathon at the end of the month, let us leave here inspired to continue these conversations beyond today. Let us advocate for accessible mental health services, safe spaces for women and girls, and a Zambia where no one has to suffer in silence. Together, by believing in women and girls and supporting their well-being, we can truly achieve. I thank you.
Thank you so much there. We had remarks delivered by Dr. 𝗙𝗵𝗶𝗹, representing the 𝗙𝗵𝗶 CEO. Let's give her another round of applause. I think they didn't drink the feet. Can we try again? Let's give her another round of applause. And thank you so much for delivering those remarks, reminding us why we are here and just how important the girl child is to 𝗙𝗵𝗶. When Ms. Katongo, Dr. Katongo started her remarks, she referred to statistics of 1 in 5 women having some sort of mental distress. And I was just counting the room. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, not to say it's you, by the way, but really those statistics reveal the fact that there's no better time to have these conversations than now. And we're so glad that you brought out those facts so that we can take this seriously. Not too long ago, I made a decision to step out and just take a break from the corporate space, just to find myself again. Because I realized that if I did not do that from the side of my mental health and many other aspects, maybe I wasn't going to come back strong, maybe I wasn't going to report for work and be as productive as I should be. And this really speaks to why we should choose ourselves at the end of the day. So I've not had headaches. I was getting to a place where I was having headaches every day. I was depending on very strong painkillers. So I don't know what we're going through in our space, but whatever it is, we need to just step back, go back, and think through, is your mental health okay? Are you okay? Can you take a break and come back better? So that we celebrate you and you become the woman that you're supposed to be. So, for the girl child, for the woman, for Zambia. Can we do it, ladies? Let's do it. For the girl child, for the woman, and for me. So I need you to point at yourself as well because you are important. Let's do it. For the girl child, for the woman, for Zambia, for me. Give yourselves a round of applause. All right, so now we will get into a panel discussion. And I'm excited that the panelists are already seated. Perhaps I'll just have 1 minute to have all of us pass on the microphones to each of the delegates. I know at some point Dr. Chanda will have to leave. Is it now? Okay, all right. So, Doc, we'll permit you to leave after you've already given us all the money we need. But thank you so much. We appreciate you. Round of applause for Dr. Chanda, and thank you so much, Team Zanako. Team Zanako is half my family because most of the faces are my friends and they're my family. So lovely to see you all, and thank you for your partnership and taking the theme of the girl child seriously. We appreciate you. Thank you so much. So we will have the microphones. Please do confirm if you have the microphone. Pastor? Ms. Chomba, okay, so the microphones, including this one, because I have mine. Okay. You mean we need some bacha? Yes, please. Okay. Water is coming. All right. So what should I stand here? All right, so we had earlier introductions. I would like to request that those that are seated at the back can come through and just fill up the seats, if it's possible. Those that are at the back, please do feel free for this important session. I think we just want as many people to be close. Thank you. So if it's not water, please feel free. There's more drinks there, courtesy of Tretkins. You can have your mocktail. Please do note that at some point we will pass on the microphone to you so that you can be able to ask your questions as well. But I will have this opportunity to just allow the panel to very briefly touch on what wellness means to you as a woman in leadership today. And I like what our panel looks like, really carefully selected. We have a mentor to many women and young people. We even had Dr. Chanda speak to the fact that you've been a mentor. But that's the same for most of the women, either from a distance or close by. You've been mentoring women. And I know that you come across matters of mental health. We have Ms. Chomba, who not too long ago really became very open about some of the challenges she's experienced at a personal level as an entrepreneur. Very inspiring for myself as well, who's entered it. All I can say is you're brave and you need a lot of mental health. But perhaps let me go around with this question. What does wellness mean to you as a woman in leadership today? We'll start with you, Pastor.
Well, at a personal level, I'm looking for the ability to thrive. As a child of God, you know, the Bible tells us that the reason Jesus Christ came was so that we could have life more abundantly. And so I really am always focusing on quality of life. You know, am I in a state, spirit, soul, and body that allows for me to thrive?
Okay, great, fantastic. Ms. Chomba?
For me, as someone who's an entrepreneur, it means being very deliberate about getting support support from the team, support at home, support in the church community. A lot of us women have been feeding off a narrative that says that we will do it all, we can do it all, and we're carrying so many burdens, and we want to be a superwoman. But for me, wellness means being very deliberate about getting the support that I actually need to be able to do everything that I do.
Right. Ms. Nyasulu?
For me, wellness means to be sound, to be all-rounded. That's what it means to me. And I feel like that can be shaped by the people we are surrounded with, by the people around us. That can either make our wellness better or break it. Yes, thank you.
Dr. Bridget, you recently launched Bridge and Blossom, and really merging the two generations. And one of the things that came out of your Saturday event was these issues that we're discussing today: wellness, mental health, mentorship, but also a touch on what does wellness really mean to you?
Having come from a background of suffering a lot of, self-esteem, self-confidence issues. I mean, when I say that now, people wonder when that was, but it's an everyday battle. For me, wellness is a sense of identity, a sense of who you are, which then speaks to, and as Pastor 𝗙dzie was saying, and I didn't even say hello to you properly, but it's so nice to share stage with you. But it is the sense of identity that then speaks to the way your mind operates, and then the way you look after your body, and the way you look after every faculty and everything around you, including relationships, that I call wellness.
Right. Sister D?
Yes, thank you very much. I think for me, wellness is the quality of life, health, finance, social. Most of the time, I think, like Bridget said, as women, we've always thought we can do it all. And in that, we are neglecting ourselves, just to believe in you and be you. So I think for wellness, for me, is also just being you, being who you are and believing in yourself. That's what I'd call wellness. Thank you.
Thank you. I feel for me, wellness extends far beyond everything. Wellness is holistic. It starts with the mind, it starts with the body, it starts with the spiritual. So for me, wellness comprises of every single entity that we have. We have to encompass everything, be it our health, be it our mental state. Everything is comprised in wellness.
Okay. Thank you so much. I'll bring you to the second question, and I believe you've brought it out in describing what wellness is. And I'll start with you, Ms. 𝗙𝗵𝗶. What is the biggest challenge that women in Zambia currently face in balancing leadership, health, and family?
I think this takes me back to what I said earlier. We have this narrative that we keep running in our head that we are super women and we should carry all the weight of managing a family, managing your career, managing your business, taking care of yourself, educating yourself, looking after your home. There's so many things that we carry as women, and then we tell ourselves that we'll carry this burden on our shoulders and the full weight of it. But that's not being responsible for you, because the denominator in all this is you, and you need to take care of you. This means that you have to be very deliberate about your rest. Rest adds to your resilience, your ability to push yourself further. And again, I'll go back to what I said earlier, having the right support systems around you to help you lead. Your question for me was about leadership.
Right.
So in my example, there was a time when I used to do quite a lot of things all by myself, and I was crashing, I was burning. It's only recently that I have, as a business, started setting systems
that are supporting the leaders within the team to grow and be able to assist me, that were able to grow and thrive. I'll give an example. I have our general manager over there, Precious. She's taken such a huge load off my shoulder that I'm able to become now a better leader. So it's things like that. Even at home, you need the right support to be able to do the things that you have to do and do them really well. So it's being intentional about that. You are not superwoman. At some point, you're going to crash, but have the right people around you to support you.
Thank you for that. Carrying a lot of weight is something that we women do almost as if it's second nature. Either you're taking care of the children, you're running a business, you're navigating a career path, and going to school as well. I think I'm describing myself not too long ago. Pastor Gladys, are we meant to carry so much weight as women? Is it even right for us to carry so much weight?
So I think the thing is to not carry unnecessary weight. I think that there is weight that we've been given, and if we find another word would be responsibility. Because responsibility is just about responding to your ability. So the things that you're supposed to be doing as a woman is what you have been enabled to do. And you know, there's a lot of integrity to work, because the work is what gives us meaning, you know, what we're able to do for our children, what we can do for each other as sisters when we go out of our way for the people that we love. Is the sacrifice that brings so much value to our lives, right? Like if all we ever did was vacation and goals, we would be unfulfilled. So the goal is not to carry unnecessary weight. And where does that unnecessary weight come from? It comes from the battles that you are fighting that you really should be living alone. It comes from the pain you're not processing that continues to sit there as excess weight. It comes from just robbing yourself from the permission to just be the woman that you are and not the woman next door or the woman across, you know, the room from you. And just because no one does you like you. And unnecessary weight is when you're trying to be everything that you're not and robbing us of who you really are.
That's very interesting. Then perhaps I'll go to a health practitioner. We do have our doctor there who may respond to some health aspects of this conversation. What are some of the most overlooked health issues affecting women in the wellness space?
In the wellness space, I feel one of the most overlooked ones is rest, as Pastor highlighted. Most women regard rest as laziness, which is something that is essential for us. Ideally, I would say we need 8 hours of sleep or maybe 9, but you say, but I have children. I can't do certain things. I need to work, I need to take care of my family. We often overlook rest and we often overlook ourselves. Rest is essential for all of us and should never be regarded as laziness.
What are some of the ailments that come to your attention or come to you at the hospital that are related to us women not really taking care of our mental health?
So mental health is physical. Most people will present with headaches, they're going to present with hypertension, they're going to present with tiredness, weight problems, hormonal imbalances. These are the common things that we are seeing, and this affects a lot of women, including us, the career women. Many women do so many things and juggle so many things. At the end of the day, we forget to think of the most important person, who is ourselves.
Right, right. Sister D, and after Sister D, I'll come to you, Dr. Bridget. Perhaps you could tell us, you're an activist, but at the same time a family woman as well. What pressures do women, mothers and wives, commonly face in society that we could say are often ignored?
Well, going to bed last and waking up first.
The superhero syndrome.
We are superheroes. But I think, like everyone is saying, really, it's not very easy. Most of the time when we are growing up, we are excited to do a lot of things. And we feel like when we do a lot of things, we'll be, this superwoman. But I think sometimes growing up, you realize that, like the medical practitioner side, you need your rest and you need to have a good support system. I realized even when, like in the home, you have visitors or you have family around you, most of the time you cook food and realize that the person you will not give food is yourself. You will give everyone, but you will not give the food to yourself. You say, okay, I'll cook again. So sometimes we neglect ourselves in as much as we want to work for others. Not that it's bad to help others. I've always said some women feel offended when somebody says God created you as a helper. I've always said, yes, I'm a helper because I'm helping somebody who's helpless. So it's a good thing. It's not a bad thing, I'm helping somebody who needs help. So don't worry when they tell you, no, you are just a helper. You are a helper indeed because you are helping people who cannot help themselves. So really, I think, thank you. So for me, I think loving what you do also is good. Yeah, because sometimes we do things that we don't want to do. Like for me, I've always loved to sing, from a young age, I wanted to sing. So sometimes even when I'm at home with a lot of work, I still feel like I'm still going to enjoy what I'm going to do, and that's singing. So I think that has really helped me. But growing up, I've realized that I think you need time for yourself. Right. Sometimes even from your children, because most of the time we even feel guilty to leave our children, our grandchildren. Like for me, I have grandchildren now, like I need time for them, but you need space for yourself, space to think, space to just discover yourself more and do a whole lot of other things. Yeah.
Thank you, Sister Day. Dr. Bridget, at a personal level, I know that there's some very, very significant changes you made regarding your wellness journey. But also, could you probably highlight what that journey was like and how it contributed to you showing up in a good way in the workspace?
That's very exciting, Nabala, I must say. So, like I said, what wellness means to me, when I discovered at my lowest, and when I say my lowest, at rock bottom, and it was exactly 10 years ago. I mean, I was 3 times my current weight. I mean, if I showed the pictures here, you'd be amazed. But I then discovered first and foremost that I was carrying a certain image of myself. And lo and behold, I arrived to do communications for a group of 8 companies. Not only did I have to single parent my 2 teenage children now, I had to be in school. And not only be in school, I had to look out for my mother, who's widowed at the farm, make sure that her farm is, when Dad died, I became the by default partner. And not only did I have that, I'm also the eldest sibling in my family. The whole idea is I discovered that I didn't exist anywhere. In all that, everybody had space and time. I didn't. And I had to name that for what it is. And the first place I went to, and I'm hoping that what I say helps you, because in what you're giving as Bridge to Blossom is what is called Be a Woman by Nature. We can talk about that later. Because out of that experience, have I created what is called Be a Woman by Nature. I discovered that all this that we do comes from, firstly, the mother-daughter wound. Deep mother-daughter wound. Not only did I fail my mother's expectations because I was the eldest, not only did I pick a career and they thought I was going to be a medical practitioner, when all I saw was myself read news in front of TV, I saw myself teaching people, and I would sit, teach. I was very, very creative with my hands, you name it, from cooking and all that. The first place to start, which unfortunately we are never told, is what kind of relationship do you have with your mother? Because however you are operating now, even if she's late, whoever was a mother figure in your life, you are dealing with a wound of proving how you felt that mother-daughter relationship. And you are picking from what your grandmother, who then passed on to your mother, what they passed on to you, hence the bridge to blossom. Secondly, we live in a society where what is called low self-esteem is not being addressed. It's the reason I am not ashamed to say that I'm coming from that kind of background, because then I had to become intentional about healing. I had to go through therapy. I believed I was not good enough. What was the next thing? When I discovered that when I believed I was not good enough, I did not mind how I ate. I did not mind to commit to an exercise regimen. It didn't matter. I would read that I need to drink X liters of water. I would not, because I didn't exist in the picture. Everybody else existed, but not me. And then to come in my way of thinking, I mean, guys, between what is called, in fact, I was going to say, we need to change the narrative of what is called mental health, because it's the reason we don't have the scary statistics that my lady was giving here. Right. In other parts of the world, because what is called thinking is actually institutionalized, is the reason that we have, mental facilities. Here, when you say mental health, you're in between Chainama and your home. But that's because we have been programmed and socialized into not believing in the real meaning of thinking. Because to the same extent I look after my body, the mind must be looked after. The reason we go to church is that the spiritual being of me is being nourished. How come the mind is not being given that kind of attention? So then I had to go to the fact that my way of thinking is affecting my way of eating. I mean, when I was feeling my lowest, therapy. And I crashed. When I crashed, I went back to the drawing board. I didn't lie to myself. What I was experiencing was low self-esteem, and I had experienced it for so long. I then looked at how it affects my way of being, my way of acting, and everything else, including the environment. I not only was hypertensive plus at that point, I had to lose weight from 86 kilo to understanding that my body type, my blood type had to carry a certain kind of weight. But importantly, when all this was balanced, it meant I had to look after myself, my productivity, because everything was being affected. So when I lost weight, I had to be drastic. And people now, believe it or not, including my friends, were like, but I made a decision that I was going to go for the kill, and the kill was for me to be the best version of myself. But there's one relationship I paid particular attention to, which we are never taught. Pastor, have nothing against the church. I don't think we are taught the correct script of what it means to love yourself. My personal opinion, please don't get me wrong. Because then I centered in understanding this self, which is the very being of God. If God has to show up as me, how does God need to look in my body? If God has to show up in my way of thinking, how do I need to think? How do I dress up so that I represent this God? Is the one relationship that made me make that drastic decision. 86 kilo to 60 kilo. And the rest is history. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. However, you're representing the younger generation, and I just want to get into your mind right now. When you listen to this from the definition of wellness, and now just right next to you, Dr. Bridget, talking about matters to do with self-esteem and really identity, what comes to your mind?
From what she said, or the question?
So the question would be that on matters of self-esteem and the young people, how exactly are the young people navigating it? I say this, 𝗄𝗵𝗶, because we're dealing with young people in an area of the socials as well. And you kind of sense that there's a struggle in how best young people are showing up in line with their self-esteem.
Okay, let me just give an example of myself, because I relate very much. When it comes to self-esteem and having low self-esteem, anxiety and other deprecating feelings upon yourself, I experienced that in my junior years when I was picked to be the first monitress in grade 8. I was so much of a people pleaser, and I wanted to make everyone like me or make everyone feel good. Hence, I neglected myself. I was listening to everyone's perspective, everyone's judgment upon me, and I believed them. I had no, what can I say? I had no ideals of myself. So in that process of believing everyone, and that process of trying to cater for everyone but me, having no ideals, I crashed. And I started feeling anxious. And I started not knowing what to do, and I started to freeze. And now, I had social media at that time, then I deleted everything, because I didn't want anything to do with anyone anymore, and I started becoming an introvert in that time. Hence, that affected my opportunity to be a prefect in senior secondary. I said, no, I don't want that, because I was thinking, what will people think if I do this or that or that or that? And I just feel like lowering your self-esteem may come from others, not really, but ultimately comes from yourself, from what you're telling yourself.
What are the issues that are affecting young people from a mental health perspective?
I feel
the esteem issues.
Huh?
What about interacting with young people like yourself?
Yes.
What key issues come out in your conversations around, mental health?
The key issues that come out is that you try to fit in a certain social group or social settings.
Right.
And if you don't meet that, you start to feel anxious that, oh, I'm not doing it right, and I want to do it right, and I want to fit in that certain social group. And you start to feel scared that you won't do it, and you start to block out every other important thing that you're supposed to focus on.
Thank you. I'll come to you, Ms. 𝗙𝗵𝗶, but first let me get to you, Pastor 𝗙𝗵𝗵, and I want to find out, there's something interesting that has been brought out, matters to do with self-esteem, and Dr. Bridget spoke to how there's a script that the church may have not gotten right. I just wanted you to react to that. You're meeting all sorts of people. You're meeting the married people. You're meeting the people that are anxious, the people that are depressed. Just how best, and of course, if we're not running to the hospital, we're running to the church. Just how best do we, from the church perspective, navigate these issues?
I think that the church needs to we need to go back to the understanding of who God really is. Because once we make God so superficial that we think we want to lay our hands over the things he has said, come to me, all who labor and are heavy laden, and I'll give you rest. Right. When we are not really allowing God to attend to what's really going on in our lives, and we pray over everything, we declare things, because by the way, faith is not pretending like you don't have a problem. Faith is actually acknowledging that you have a problem, and then believing that God can and will do something about it. You know, Nabali, I think one of the challenges that we do have, even outside the church, but how we live even as believers, in however way we practice our faith, and even for people who are more like on the inspirational side, we tend to talk more about things we do nothing about. So we talk the talk, but we don't walk the walk. We put up statuses and we never lean into pain. So families, like there are so many elephants in the room, in houses, in corporate spaces. There are things families don't talk about. We are uncomfortable to have the hard conversations. But read the Bible. How many difficult conversations did Jesus have? He told them, you are like your father, the devil. You are liars. You know, he was calling out issues. And I think that what we need to do as a church, and I think even as a community of believers, is to lean into the hard part of problem solving. We have to have the hard conversations. We need to confront the hard things. I do a lot of work around grief. And I remember when my husband died like 7 years ago, I was surrounded by people who told me, you know what, everything is going to be okay. Nothing was okay.
Yeah.
And I tell grieving people that your life will never be the same again, but you can learn to live differently. I tell them that it's going to be hard, and this is how you navigate the storm. So when people then experience the hard part of life that they're not allowed to deal with or talk about, they confine themselves into a lot of suffering and isolation. I think we ought to really bring integrity back to pain and healing.
Thanks. Let's give our panelists a round of applause. I will throw it to the audience in opera style. But Ms. Chomba, before I throw it to the audience and as we get ready to pass on the microphone, perhaps you could touch on what entrepreneurship has taught you about resilience as a woman.
Okay, so I think just to kick that question off, in my view, resilience is not assuming that you're not fearful about certain things. It's actually walking into that thing that scares you and choosing to continue rather than to quit. It's not easy. One of the frameworks that I've always used is to reframe the word fear. There are so many things as an entrepreneur that will test your resilience, that will test your courage, because you're really walking in uncharted waters. Where we are as a nation, it's not very many of us who have built something from scratch and tried to make something notable of it. So we're really walking in uncharted waters, and resilience is everything. So for me, reframing fear and using it as data instead, looking at situations as a scientist would. If something doesn't work, you look at it with curiosity and ask, why didn't that work? What did I miss? What steps can I change? What can I do better? And talking to others about it. Because if you do not name that fear and try to deal with it, try to resolve it, then it will always stand in front of you and you won't be able to move a step forward. So reframing the fear, calling it out for what it is, and beginning to take tangible actions towards dismantling what it is that is causing that fear for you is a big one for me. But another one also is anchoring yourself in something that's larger than your fear. For me, it's my faith. I take all my troubles, my storms, my problems to God, and I give it to Him because I know He's able to do what I cannot do. So I submit myself and the issues before Him, and that always works for me.
Right.
So those two are key for me.
somebody last weekend was saying all women are last-born children in the eyes of God. So you got to his throne like a 𝗙ecie𝗺 and just lay it all out. We're going to have some questions, ladies. Please do feel free. We don't want to just make it about the panel. We want to make it about you as well. So please just feel free to raise your hand and you can ask a question. Do we have any? And the good thing is I know so many people in this room, so if you don't raise up your hand, we'll start here and then we'll go to Penny.
Good morning. I need to check the time. The afternoon. It's been an amazing morning. My name is Rachel from Zanaco. I'm very happy to be in this room. And I appreciate the sentiments that have come out of all the speakers, because it also affirms the fact that as a woman, we have to be very intentional about yourself. We're so holistic in thinking. We care more about others than we care about ourselves. But self-esteem starts from what you think of yourself, not what others think of you. And when you look at the stories of the ladies in front of us, there's a lot of intention around yourself. I like what Dr. Bridget said about taking control of you, beginning with the relationship within yourself. And most times we find ourselves being dependent on others and being abused because of that, because you've forgotten yourself first. You are dependent on them because you don't have financial control over your own books. You are dependent on someone else to fund your life. But it starts with you. Yeah, it starts with you. Before you can think of others, you have to think of you. So as women, I think it's time for us to really take control of our lives, our emotions, our time, what the people we have around us, the negativity, the positivity. What action do you choose to take after you hear what you have heard? What we have learned today, the difference between us and the woman outside is what we do after this. So thank you so much for the words.
Thank you so much, Ms. Rachel. We'll have the microphone passed on. There was a hand there. I like how 𝗙cie_𝗺 is looking at me.
We'll be giving her the mic after.
Yes, we'll give her the microphone.
Good morning, ladies. My name is 𝗵𝗶𝗶𝗹. I'm from 𝗙cie_𝗺 Insurance, and we're happy to be part of what a wonderful group is doing. So I have two perspectives to share to the conversation. Firstly, number one, somebody yesterday was asking me, when do you take a break? When do you just go somewhere and rest from everything? Then I realized actually I don't. Then I've heard the conversations in here. I'm like, okay, so that should have been a trigger to say there's something you need to change about your routine, because if it's not work, then it's church, then it's another program, it's kids, it's, different responsibilities. But then this conversation has also taken me back to an event I was moderating on Saturday. And it was for mothers and daughters, and there was a conversation about broken relationships between mothers and daughters. So this gathering basically was for mothers and daughters, for them to have a conversation. And the key thing that happened, or that came out during that particular meeting, was that children or daughters feel shut because their mothers are going through issues.
Right.
So the question from that particular conversation was, who is healing the broken mother? Where does the mother who is struggling go to get relief for them to be a better person? So perhaps in this room we could be like this broken mother. How are we finding the relief? By faith, by associations, by me time? Where are you? You need to introspect so that you come out of this cocoon or troublesome situation as a stronger and better individual, so that when you go out there as a better person, then I'll be a better mother, I'll be a better friend, I'll be a better employee, the productivity that was being talked about. All right, so all of those are elements that become a good output because of the, what do you say, garbage in, garbage out, right? When it comes to technology. So if it's the same thing with all these other things, then it's the same about me as an individual. I have to invest in me to be a better version for the rest of the world. Thank you, and God bless.
Interesting question. Thank you. And I like to throw it to, I know that's a contribution and not really a question, but I want to throw this to you, Sister D. You deal with women, and Dr. Bridget can touch on that. Who is healing the broken mother? Because clearly, from the ones that Dr. Bridget spoke about, there's something we're passing on. It could be expectations, our own dreams that we've not fulfilled as mothers, and we're putting the pressure on the children. That shows that there's a level of being broken as a mother. And without realizing it, unconsciously we're passing it on. So how does the mother heal so that she only passes on that which is good to the daughter?
Well, a very difficult question, but who is healing the mother? Most of the time, no one is healing the mother. You know, nobody's thinking of you. Sometimes, like she said, even when you want to rest, some people will think you're lazy or you have to do something. Why are you sleeping? You know, so nobody is thinking of this mother who is, you know, sleeping late, like I said earlier, you know, waking up first and making sure everything is done. The school errands, the husband, you know, the grandchildren, the meals. In a place that you have 8 people, it's you who has to take care of everyone. They are all waiting for you. And nobody is thinking of your wellness most of the time.
But also, are we not carrying these responsibilities and this weight as a badge of honor? Because I've come across what has been described as carrying so much weight. Sometimes it's carried as if it's an accolade.
Yeah, it's an accolade, yes.
Yes, I'm a mother, I'm a career woman, I'm in school, I'm doing all that. What's happening there?
Well,
are we allowing it as women?
We are gifted as multitaskers. I've always noticed, sorry to the men, you know, when a man is doing something, you know, like if they are repairing a vehicle, it will be that. But for us, we make sure all the kids have to be picked, I have to cook, I have to do, that's a strength. It's not a bad thing, but we have to watch it. You know, sometimes we are overdoing it. Maybe we want to show that. Because for me, I've noticed that society has created a woman to be, you know, there are certain things that they will tell you, in a very you know, and somebody is telling you have to go through certain things for you to be a strong woman. You know, so I think we need somebody to change the syllabus. You know, like the doctor said earlier, who is talking to these Alangis, so that they tell you that sometimes believe in you and just have time for you. You know, sometimes nobody's going to take care of you, but you can take care of yourself. There's nothing wrong with that. You know, nobody's going to come, okay, do this, because they think you are this strong being, you know, but you can take care of yourself. You can go to Meraki. I always go there and have a nice cake.
How many of us in this room got to Meraki for therapy?
Yeah.
Got some hot chocolate?
Yeah, hot chocolate, you know, I have my tea. And it's not a bad thing, you know. I'm not leaving everybody to say, I don't want to be with you, but I just want my me time. You know, if nobody's healing me, I'm going to heal myself. Thank you.
There's actually a saying that if you can go to a restaurant and be alone, then you can face anything. Yes, Ms. Bridget.
You know how I'll bring a disruptive, you know, opinion to a narrative. Who is healing the mother? But before I say that, there's a context I'd like to bring into the house. Okay? So in each one, and mind you, like I said, I should have put a disclaimer right from the beginning. These are, of course, you know, thoughts from our own experiences. I have been researching, I have been reading up to now. I'm actually reading neuroscience because I really needed to understand how parts of the world have got brains that function differently from different parts of the world. So what do we put in our brains to the extent we can't keep mortuaries clean? I'm a serial cleaner, I was telling Chom. Workers sometimes have to run away from me. The point I wanted to say is, to the female side, I mean, when God said male and female were created, He then declared an archetype. Okay, let me move a little. He declared an archetype. Because the female side of us is the nurturer and the conceiver of life, the masculine, it means in every single person, that aspect is actually in your spirit, in your being. So you have the masculine type, archetype, and you also have the female archetype. The female one is the one that nurtures, and the masculine one is the one that gets things done. That's one. Please pack that. And then in every single woman are also additional archetypes, which is there's a girl, there's a woman, and then there's a mother. In every one of us. Here is the trouble. It's the reason that the healing discussion is very dear to me. And not only is it dear because I feel that's part of my calling, but it's also for the fact that the only type now of the three, the girl, the woman, and the mother, the spiritual aspect, I've had to go to scripture on this, is the woman. But the girl is still in you, and so is the mother. Now here is the trouble. We have received an external script of woman, which then violates and poisons what kind of mothers we become. Please hear me. I mean, for me, if I give you an example, I've had to single parent my children, negating the woman in me, to the point I'm thinking, okay, I can't even pray. Right now, I can't pray because I have got to juggle this. And sometimes I just want to feel like a little girl and be appreciated. So until you can balance, first and foremost, the very fact that are you overstretching the nurturing side of you, which is giving you the matcha, you want to save everybody? Or this women empowerment narrative that we're carrying, ladies in the house and the gentlemen in the house. The women empowerment, and I am going to the world with this skill, that we have been given is that we have to fight our male colleagues because society has socialized us into believing what is called women empowerment is being powerful because you can do what a man can do. I have a different narrative. Women empowerment is mastering the who I am, who God created me to be. And for that reason, when I balance the masculine and the feminine side of me, you can imagine how I've struggled to be feminine. And then lo and behold, 9 years ago, I entered a masculine-dominated environment. The weapon is for me to take the feminine side of me in that environment. Thank you so much. I hope that helps.
Thank you.
So who's healing the mother? Let's fix the balance. And then we will find who will heal the mother. Thank you.
Okay, we'll take some questions, 2 or 3, and then we move on to the next. Okay.
Well, as it happens, I happen to dominate the microphone for the moment. Indulge me. Thank you. I'm enjoying the conversation so far. I have learned so much. There is one aspect of mental health that I'd like us to tackle. I'd love to hear some expert or non-expert comment on this. Recently, and I'm so ashamed of this, I blocked someone, a fellow woman, from my phone, from my life, because I freaked out about the fact that she was 90,000 kwacha in debt. 90,000 kwacha. This is not small money. And I asked myself, I asked her initially, how did this happen? How did you start this journey? And the reason I blocked her was because she had become incessantly, persistent in asking, please help me, please help me. Every day, I need help, I need help. And all she needed was money, money and more money. I don't believe money is the solution. And at the same time, I don't believe that she's an isolated incident. I believe so many women are struggling with debt. We've made some dumb decisions, and today we are struggling, we are swimming, we are drowning. That is a direct effect on your mental health. I want to know first of all, how you get out of a situation like that. And secondly, how do you take the correct path, which is not to block, but to help, to be a sister's keeper. Thank you.
So were you getting midnight texts and... So what we'll do is, we'll take Ms. Chisenga's question, let's have the other one as well, and then we'll have the panel react.
So I think we can have her and her, then we answer.
That's it.
Good morning, ladies. Mobiana is my name, from Zanako. And listening to what she's talking about, I'm actually one of the people that do financial education.
Yes.
But I wouldn't want to go into that right now. But what I heard is a question especially to the pastor. There was something that was going up, or we're talking about who heals a woman. To the church, and most of us are believers, the church should be a safe haven for women. We go through a lot. But right now we would all agree to say when we go into church, we fear to open our mouths about our things. Why? Because it ends up maybe on the pulpit, or it is going to be hearsay for everyone, the ushers, everyone will know your story. What are we doing? Or what is it that you're doing? What deliberate steps are you taking towards ensuring that that woman who is broken is able to find solace when they come to church? And to every one of us, what is it that we are doing in our own individual spaces to ensure? She's talking about someone who's wallowing in debt. That's a cancer, unfortunately, and it's killing a lot of people. Today, you block her, tomorrow you hear she has committed suicide. That's a story of a day. And this is a realization that should be to all of us. How do we embrace that person? We carry baggages. Sometimes even just a mere greeting to her. Hi, how are you feeling? It lifts someone's burden. Let's be good to one another. Everything else that we're talking about here can only be made practical if all of us come to the party and we hold ourselves accountable for each other. You don't have to know me for you to be able to come close to me and just give me a hug. Maybe that's all I need for that particular moment, to put myself together and start running again. But what do? We talk about it. No, did you see the wig? Have you asked me why I'm wearing that kind of a wig? So women, let's arise, let's be there for each other. We ourselves are responsible for bringing each other down. And even the women that cannot speak out, it's because of fear of being judged. What is society going to think? That's what we all think about. What will they say if I leave my husband's house? What will they say if I do not listen to my daughter? What will they say if my daughter gets pregnant? Some of us probably we came out of wedlock. Are we not here? We are good women. So God has got a different purpose for each and every person. But what is important is how do we embrace ourselves as women, and how do we continue running while supporting each other so that we can actualize our vision on earth. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, so we have, please do feel free. What we can do, 𝗙cie𝗺 is that we can take two, allow them to respond, and then we go back to the audience. So Ms. Yvonne, Ms. 𝗙cie, you may just hold on for now. Just your reaction to the sentiments that have, been shared by the audience.
All right, so I'll, to the church, the comment addressed to the church, let me say real quick that the church is not a building. We are the church. We're the individuals in a church, so people can be hurt by the one who has the pastoral role, or the woman in the women's committee or group, or the youth member. And I say this in order to say that progress in the reality of what you shared about a lack of safe spaces that should exist, progress looks like every person owning their part in preserving themselves first of all, because hurting people hurt people.
Yeah.
If we don't attend to who we are, regardless of whether we are in a church building, an office space somewhere, a relationship, we're in love with someone, a part of a family system, if we don't deal with ourselves, we go out into the world perpetuating pain and hurt. So while I'm on that, let me say this. Okay, so if we all do our individual work, the church looks like a safe space. Homes, relationships look like safe spaces. Because we don't have control over what other people do. You know, I wish, even as somebody who preaches the gospel, who coaches people, who tries to restore hope where it's lost, I wish I could tell people that they're never going to be disappointed again. I wish I could tell people that it's going to be smooth sailing. But even Jesus said, in this world you'll face many tribulations. So because we live in a fallen world, the hope that we have is the choice we make for ourselves. So number one, who am I committing to be? Because even when we look at things like self-love, right? Self-care. While like vacations, spa dates and all of that have their place, and they do have their place. It's important to take time out, go get a massage, go on a vacation. But many times, these weekends or this hour lunch date that you go on is not enough to address the level of trauma that you are carrying, which sometimes is so generational and requires so much excavation. So we can now begin to broaden self-care as to showing ourselves the integrity we expect from other people. So I think it's easier to say, you know what, this man did me wrong, but are you doing yourself good? Right. It's easy to say, I want people with integrity around me, but do you show yourself integrity? Do you keep the promises you make to yourself? Do you speak well to yourself? Do you, when you are injured, do you commit not to post about healing, but to actually lean into your pain and do something about it? So it's going to be so much broader when it comes to self-care. And then real quick, cutting people off, like the blocking, I agree, it's hectic, right? Because then you're trying to, and I mean, even if you didn't block and it's so hard to have the conversation with a person around like, you and I now can't, because then they'll come to you and say, no, but what? So the easiest way to, the way around it is simply reposition yourself. Because when you begin to take care of yourself by strengthening your boundaries, that automatically repositions you. So instead of having those hard conversations, you are no longer found accessible because you have repositioned yourself, not because of someone else, but for yourself. You deserve the boundaries. You can say no when you need to say no, and you ought to say yes where you should say yes. All of the decisions we make at a personal level put us away from what we are trying to move away from and closer to the thing that we're trying to pursue.
Right. Yes. I want to guide the conversation in the direction that Ms. 𝗙cie𝗵 has asked regarding debt, and I think Ms. 𝗙mbA, I would like for you to come to it. And I know when the issue of debt comes up, like you said, sometimes we see people ending up with suicidal thoughts, and really, you've blocked her for your own mental health, but I can imagine how many other people have blocked her. And I'm going to ask this when we come back. Maybe I would allow you to go ahead with your thought, but I want for you to just be on standby to touch on that aspect as an entrepreneur, financial matters, especially for women entrepreneurs, and how they can navigate that. Ms. Bridget.
My lady, that was very powerful. I mean, I was thinking about your question even as we were going on. But there's something that would need to be real and practical about, which is, again, because we've been socialized to be external, and first I'm speaking to the state of mind, which then ends someone in debt, and then your reaction. It's a very interesting dynamic. So because half the time we invest external, okay, as women, it is the hair, it is how good I smell, it is the name of my shoes, the name of my handbag. The amount of pressure that there is. I mean, there was a time when I borrowed suits I didn't wear. Because perfume I did not use. I want to use one in the evening and I want to use one during the day because it's oriental, the other one is fresh. And guys, I am not saying there's anything wrong with us going that way, but the extent to which we have to uphold an external image is overwhelming, number one. I have nothing wrong with the state of my hair. Trust me, I do have hair, even if I put the duku on. And I'm not saying let's all wear dukus. All I'm saying is that when you find the real meaning of self, it does not matter what the external means or what it says. The thing is that because we draw identity from outside, we are under immense pressure. So number one, we master the external pressure. Then number two, the debt. I mean, today I was reading a book that says poverty is an illusion. Again, Pastor, to the very fact that we are not told that we are the awareness, the ability to actually perceive the world, the ability to create the world and the life we want to experience. So the one thing that we are as God is ability to create. But again, we are not taught from the time we are young how to master my ability to create. Because if God was saying, let there be for 7 days, it means that inside of me, I do have that ability. But what I'm creating right now are those limiting beliefs. So the debt is coming from somebody who has this deep dark hole inside of them that they don't have enough. They have to keep getting, holding, and getting. Your response. When I discovered this project bundle as coming from rejection, the immense rejection I went through was when I had to get through a divorce. Believe it or not, there was no powder that would stick on my face. It doesn't matter the name. I mean, now I can put the 𝗄cie𝗺 one you want to know, including 𝗴𝗵𝗶. But what I'm saying is that, again, because we identify external, it mattered to be called Mrs. Nundu. I was called, some of you who know me from my past, I was called Mrs. Nundu, including you, including Nabwali. I was once called Mrs. Bridget Nundu. I know you remember that. Boy, until the man was calling me and saying, do you have a problem with using your father's name? What am I saying, therefore? The real meaning of who we are, which then we allow that the outside is what defines, even if she comes out of that date and you block her. Yes, the help. But the bottom line is, guys, we are at a point right now when the world has become so disruptive that we have to take first the initial personal responsibility. Yes, the help. But look, even when people are borrowing something, you even know the inside of you. So the self, that is the real self, tells you when you have borrowed that suit and you shouldn't. That perfume and you should not. That donut and you should not binge on it. But because we are coming from the programming as opposed to coming from the presence, you won't hear the voice that says, you know that's red flag. Are you sure that's suit? Even when you buy the shoes, you get home, you even have that feeling like, okay, now when I say, I want you to relate to the fact that the pressure is because the outside has become louder than the inside.
Right. Thank you.
I thought I should emphasize that.
Thank you. Okay, so Mr. Fundi, we have Ms. 𝗙cie. That will be the last set of questions that we will take. Ms. 𝗙cie, Ms. Yvonne, then we have Ms. Rachel, the last three. So you wanted to say something. External validation as an entrepreneur. And I'm excited about this particular question. I will tell you why as we go on. Meraki has been there for more than 10 years now, isn't it?
Almost 12 now.
Almost 12 now. So, yes. How did you navigate matters of finances, the mental health as an entrepreneur, trying to scale up and grow your business? But also, let's touch on the external validation as well as an entrepreneur, because I know there's always that pressure of you're an entrepreneur, You have to look a certain way. You have to be a certain way. You have to show up a certain way. Even never miraculous.
Wow. Okay, that's a loaded question. So I think one of the answers to that is, and what differentiates those who want to be validated from those who don't care, is the purpose why you're doing the thing that you're doing. A lot of people go into business to make a little bit of extra money on the side, and that there's nothing wrong with that. As someone who wants to go into business or is in business, those are the questions we need to ask ourselves first of all. Why am I doing this? Is this meaningful to me? Is it something I want to do for the rest of my life? How far do I want to go with it? Or is it just for me to be able to buy bread and milk every day? Okay? So when the purpose is big, it is defined, that is all you're focusing on. It is not looking outside to external validation, the things that you wear, the things that you have on your hair. I'm happy with my natural hair. And when you find yourself looking for external validation, it points to something that is not, there's a hole in you, like my sister said, that needs to be filled. And for as long as you don't see that and get it healed, you will always look for external points of validation. Now, to the question my sister mentioned, there's responsibility that we need to take, my sister in the back. There's responsibility that we need to take for ourselves, whether the church or our friends are the cause of the pain that arises when we decide to open up to them. Look at yourself, take responsibility for your pain and what needs to be healed within you. Like Pastor Gladys said, we can't control how others take what we share with them. But that does not stop the matter, the fact that you still have a responsibility to get your healing. And healing often comes from others, through others. I don't think God will come down into your bedroom. He may speak to you, He may direct you, but most of the time we get our healing from others. And one thing that we should not shy away from as women is getting the professional help that we need. Whether it's a therapist, a counselor, whether you need to talk to your pastor or you need to talk to a mentor or someone who is more experienced in the area of pain that you're dealing with, let us get that help. And let's do it with responsibility because we value ourselves. I do not shy away from doing that. When I need the help, I go for it. What you do with what I tell you is up to you. I want my healing. I have my own journey. I'm walking my own path. And I need to walk in it healed. So that would be one answer for that question. Now, when it comes to debt, especially for business, I'll speak to business because that is the one that is more relatable to me. One reason that women fall into debt is because they start something they have not researched. They start something that doesn't mean anything to them. They start something that they have not penned down on paper. You have not created a framework for how your business is going to work, and then you go and borrow. Where is the repayment money going to come from? And mind you, there's interest accumulating on that debt. Have you done the numbers? For me, I'd rather go small, start small, reinvest the money that I'm making back into the business until it proves that it deserves a little bit of help from the outside. Then I'll take some money from outside, and it will be very calculated. Part of my conditioning is because in my previous life, I was in the banking space. I was in SME credit for a long time. So I looked at business numbers every day. I looked at loan approvals every day. So I guess that helps. Because I've seen disasters happening in this area. And this is something that we need to be very wary of, ladies. Let's be very academic and intellectual about the decisions that we're making. Let's not just rush in to say, oh, my village banking can actually give me 30 PIN. This is what I'll do. And you get the money. Have you tested that model? Let's not be rushed and random, because it's not going to work. And then you will remain with the debt, with interest, and lost relationships at the end of the day. So for me, my answer is let's calculate. Let's calculate our risks. Let's test our models, and then we jump in.
Thank you for that. So we intend to wind up by 12:30. 12:30, I believe I could have done a good job if by 12:30 we start networking and having our snacks. So we've got a 30 minutes window to work with on our program. Ms. Chikondi, we'll take more questions. Yes, Ms. Kwali, you can go ahead.
Thank you, Nawalia, finally. Sorry, we are mostly ladies. I'm menopausal, so when you take too long, sometimes the thoughts will go out. I thought I should just respond with regard to what she said that was very pertinent, I think, with regards to who do you go to when you have an issue? Who do you trust? Who can you take your issue to and feel that it's a safe space? You are within your comfort zone, because all of us are grappling with issues. I felt compelled that I needed to share two things in my church, and because you also mentioned ushers, I'm an usher, and you said you tell the usher, and then my neighbor was telling me that, yeah, your group will be the one to spread the news. So in my church, we have, they are very big on these cell groups. We call them connection groups. So within that, you are supposed to identify someone you can get as an accountability partner, right? Somebody who you trust, who you know you can have in confidence, so that you are able to share issues or challenges or things you are grappling with, knowing that it will not go beyond. Because like the pastor said, church is us, Christians. And we are a work in progress. So there are bound to be issues, like you said. So if you have this accountability partner, it helps. It's less heavy than talking about, seeking professional help. That could be the next step, of course, if the problem persists. But over and above all of this, please, 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 speak to God directly, yourself. This is an issue I'm grappling with God. And speak to your accountability partner as well. They'll pray with you. This is an issue I'm grappling with. This is what I'm struggling with. He is my first go-to place. When I have issues, he's my first go-to. God, we've got a different picture that God expects us to be perfect. When you go, you should be a good woman or girl or, whatever, mother. But he knows Jesus was on the earth. He knows it's not easy being on the earth. Go to him. There are many places in the Bible where it shows Jesus met that woman at the well. She was not a perfect woman. She was on her 6th husband. But he stood there and he spoke with her. He didn't judge her. He spoke with her very nicely, and she was even converted. She went back to the village because they said, come everybody. Come see this man. He knows everything about me. And she was converted. Mary Magdalene was a prostitute, but she was in his inner circle. Who else? That woman who was caught committing adultery. He forgave her. He said, woman, go back and sin no more. So please, don't be shy. Whatever issue you're grappling with, I've got 6 boyfriends, or I have a married man, or I have a money issue, or I have something. Please, acknowledge it.
That's not me, I promise.
Yeah, so acknowledge that, go to God with it. Be honest, like somebody said, I think it was Nabola, just be honest and be frank and say, dear God, I'm struggling with this. I'm really struggling. I'm struggling, the workload is too much, I'm struggling, these children, I'm struggling, I need a husband, I'm struggling, I need someone to help me. Talk to God about it, He knows these things. And trust me, He hears, He's real, He will provide. He will answer you. So if you're not a Christian, have an accountability partner. It's very important. We live in a difficult world with many challenges. We live in a fallen world. I'm a Christian. You can't do it alone. No wonder all those good testimonies or things I too have learned here today. That I need to make time for me. I cannot be perfect all the time.
Thank you. All right. We had 2 more contributions.
Good afternoon, ladies.
Afternoon.
I've enjoyed the conversations we've had here today, and my contribution is simply around therapy. I think as women, we need to normalize having conversations around therapy. Even as the pastor said, when you have your me time, you go to the spa, it is not enough to deal with some of the trauma we've gone through. These days, if someone comes to me with a problem, therapy has to be in the conversation. Even if it's a problem to do with your child, you're struggling with your child, take the child for therapy. Conversations around work, anything. So I think in our society, we're still at that point where sometimes you are worried about having that conversation because you think, what will the person next to me think if I say I'm going for therapy? But the same way you go to the hospital when you're not feeling well, that's how we should treat therapy. When you've got a flu, you've got a headache, you go and see the doctor. So when you have mental issues, why don't you pick up the phone and make an appointment with a therapist? It needs to become normal. It needs to be part of our self-care routine. So I'd just like to encourage everyone to go for therapy. I've gone for therapy before. It took 2 years before I could actually tell somebody that I've gone for therapy. But yes, it's something that is very helpful and will do wonders for you. Thank you.
Thank you, Yvonne. Thank you, Miss Yvonne. Was it one-off, or would you recommend that as and when you do feel the need, you can always go back? As and when. Okay. Thank you, Ms. Rachel.
Good morning, everybody. My name is 𝗿𝗵𝗶𝗹 from the wonderful group of companies. I want to start by adding to what Sister D mentioned about the accolades that women carry. I think in my generation, I can speak for the millennials, I think we love to win so much. There is the booked and busy narrative that we carry so much. And then in the end, we suffer a lot in the background. You want to be booked and busy, you want to look like you're happening, but in the end, in the background, you're also not happy. You have problems that you're dealing with. You also want to get married, you want to have kids. Maybe also a firstborn, just like me, Madam Dr. Bridget here. So I wanted to just add to that to say, it is okay to rest. It is okay to not be booked and busy. It's okay to not be happening at the expense of your mental health, even your body as well. I have Miss 𝗙𝗵𝗶 from ZDA, she's just from speaking. She's always telling me to rest, all the time. If you text Miss 𝗙𝗵𝗶 after midnight, she will ask you, why are you texting me? Why are you not sleeping? So thank you for being my accountability partner on that. I have a question for Miss Bridget, because I feel like I relate a lot with you. Trade Kings is a very busy place. Every day you see they're doing a road show, they are giving back, they're at a hospital, there's a new product they are launching. It's a very busy place, and half the time, every time there's communications, there's CSR, there's big events, she is there. And in the background, I'm sure there's also a lot of things that are happening. Wonderful Group is also very booked and busy. Let me use that. What makes us relate is you're coming from an environment that is also male-dominated, and the struggle is now trying to have balance, because you also don't want to lay down the girl child, the woman. You also don't want to slip behind. So you're working, trying to match up the energy with men who have wives taking care of them. We have pastors, maybe therapists as well. So my question would be, how do you strike a balance between work and you? And also, how do you strike a balance between you and wanting to represent the woman in an institution? I think my colleagues here from Wonderful Group would agree. One of the reasons why we decided to do the marathon for the girl child is because our environment is very male dominated, very much. I think we cannot even speak statistics right now. So everyone from our group of companies, they have almost, it won't be the same, because for me I'm the booked and busy who has a problem, but everyone has struggled trying to carry the weight for the women, represent. We have Madam Abigail here from Wonderful Industry. She's the commercial lead there. She also has the same pressure. So many men, so much work to do. With our legal department, same thing. So I would like to hear from you who is winning and who is glowing. And yes, so we'd like to hear how you are balancing and what advice would you give to someone who also wants to represent and also still be there for themselves? Thank you very much.
Thank you. And I hope I heard the questions clearly. I'll start with the male-dominated before I speak to the balanced one. So when I discovered my secret weapon, when I say secret weapon, I mean every single woman carries it. It is your intuition. It is operating from your gut. It is, I mean, you can't believe it that by the time I got into Trade Kings 9 years ago, I was the second female, and each time I went into those EXCO meetings, I mean, to talk to people that are already rich, and I arrived there, and I'm coming from a very, very professional background. I had just done PwC, and so I had this very intellectual, high and mighty thing in my head. I was going to quit. Because my intellectual mind was saying, so now an opportunity, they look very good with everybody else, and yet they don't have systems, they don't have this, that, and the other. Meanwhile, the voice in my gut was saying, I'm about to show what I deposit in a woman, even in her silence. So, if I don't put myself together, and your question is very related, okay, so I exercise intentionally. I can't, so here is my routine, so that I can share practical, okay? So, the only thing I haven't mastered, and I must be honest, is rest. I'm yet to master that. But, whatever I do, doesn't matter what day it is, I'm woken up at 3:45. I don't know, until I got to the point where I said, okay, Lord, yes, thank you. No matter what I do, 3:45, even if I don't use the alarm, I'm up. I use that to pray and to meditate up to 4:30. I've set up a little mini gym in my garage because I couldn't balance with the gym, and exercise. And then I journal a lot. That's how I get rid of the noise in my head. And then I plan the day, the to-do list the previous day, so that I don't get overwhelmed the next day. The point I'm trying to drive is that if you don't master the fact that, because remember, when you're in a male-dominated environment, you're on the spot. And believe it or not, for me, it's been living on the spot, and there's a potential risk to prove the fact that we were right that it shouldn't be a woman to do this. So that's pressure alone. So, to balance that, like I'm saying, has been to live from the gut and then to honor what I don't know. So I wake up every morning and I tell myself, I do not know. And then I intentionally learn. I want you to imagine, my lady, that from one meeting, I'm a caustic specialist. I come out of, I've been looking at some messages, the reason you reason. Another meeting, I'm a milk specialist. I come out of that. Now there's mining. I come out of that, starch is being launched. I come up. I have to read, I have to learn, I have to read, and so the amount of investment that I have to do in learning, teaching myself, starts from acknowledging my ignorance every day. And then I also learn, especially, I keep young friends. My peers are a bit of a problem because I can't, the problems, no, I don't like. The young people, sweetheart, I vibe. I keep young friends because then there's positive energy, and then I also don't want to lose the trends, what's happening. But the point I want to say is, it is not operating, it's operating from there, and then courage to do that. On the balance between my life and work. So what you see of me is when I discovered that job, please hear me, job is what you do to get paid for. But work is what you do because God assigned you. So I take my values and work them in Trade Kings like it's my own. So the personal values are what takes me there, because I am not thinking, oh no, it's about the paycheck. No, I'm thinking, okay, God. So, you know, there's Zambians, 21 million Zambians. Not only are there 21 million Zambians, there's detergents, there's soap that's needed. There are communities that need to be impacted. Now show me how. So I'm in between Trade Kings and my calling. So I take my calling to work, and I call it work. If I was doing job, Malaysia, I would have made another leap and I'm about to jump in there. So we mix the two. If you're doing what you're doing and you're doing it because of a paycheck, I would struggle to balance. So the only thing is that I enjoy it so much because it flows and aligns to who I am. I hope that helps.
Thank you so much. Sister Dios has been work and not a job.
Yes.
You've been at it for so many years as an activist. Does that explain why you look 20 years younger?
I'm soon to be 54 in July.
All right. We're done with the questions, but I just don't want to take it for granted we're all happy. Any last question? No. Burning. There's always the burning. Okay. We're good. I told you, there's always the burning one. There's always that one who says, I should have asked. Why didn't I? It's been a fantastic conversation, and I'm so grateful. Thank you so much, ladies.
Thank you. Allow me to stand because I'm so short. I'm Patience. Mine is not a burning question, just a contribution and a call to action to the women in the room. I'm so excited to be here. I've enjoyed the conversations, the panelists. Most of you, I follow you, I adore you. You inspire me even without knowing that you do. So my call to action to the women is, can we have visibility? Can we hear about you? Remember, the minister said, your story matters. So right now, the pressures that we are facing, the peer pressure, and if we're doing it for the girl child, I want to briefly speak about social media. There's a lot of things going on social media. Our girls need to be inspired. So if you and I are intentional about being loud, about being seen on social media with the things that we are doing, then we're doing something for the girl child. Thank you.
Thank you so much. It's been an amazing conversation. In just less than a minute, what does self-love look like? Doc. And then we'll take it around in less than a minute. What would you tell somebody who's struggling to love themselves?
The first thing I would say is, number one, God makes no mistakes. You were created to be you, and God makes no mistakes. That's something I think you should drive home. No matter what you look like, no matter what you feel like, you should always remember that you were created for a purpose. And through that, you must achieve what you came for in this earth. I don't believe we came to be shadows. We came to be someone. We came to make an impact. So through that, self-love means taking care of yourself first. It means you balancing everything. It starts with your mental health. I do understand, sorry, it might be slightly less more than a minute.
Please go ahead.
I do understand that sometimes you may feel empty, and that's why we come in. With this, you have to take care of your health. You have to take care of your nutrition. You have to move, because with exercise, you allow that blood to go to your brain. From your brain, it impacts everything. You have your endorphins, you have your serotonin. All these hormones will help you feel better about yourself. So the most important thing is, one, God makes no mistakes. Always remember that God makes no mistakes, and you're created for a purpose. Therefore, you must fulfill everything. It's not only your career, it is you. You start with yourself and build forward. Your career, your health, your physical abilities. You should always remember, I did like what Dr. Bridget said about taking her exercise health personally. I do the same. Before I came here, I went to the gym. Every day, invest in yourself. Always know at least 10 minutes of movement is going to go a very long way. It will impact your day, it will impact your life, it will impact how you present to your job and how you give out to everyone around you. So it all starts with you. Fill your cup first, then fill everyone else's cup afterwards. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. For me, self-love, you are the best thing that ever happened. That is what self-love is. I don't know whether these are the last remarks. Yes. Yeah, I just wanted to share this. Psychiatric hospitals. I heard somebody say we only have one, if I'm not mistaken. So I wanted to ask everybody to advocate for more psychiatric hospitals for our wellness, and also those that are in private medicine and stuff like that, the medical people. I think they should look at that also. Have those private hospitals that are looking at the wellness of a human being, and especially the women and girls. I think I wanted to bring that out to everyone. From the beginning of my life, you carried me in your womb. For 9 long months, you endured each and every day. Through that painful labor, you gave birth to me. Looked after me 24/7, 365. What are you? You are a woman. A big hand for yourselves, ladies. Strength of a woman. Thank you so much.
Self-love, for me, take off the mask. Take off the mask. It's enough. But the only reason it's enough is because you are enough. I want you to imagine what it means to wear a mask on top of original. The amount of power that I discovered within myself, which has nothing to do with what the world sees or the world applauds, is when I stopped running, I stopped pretending, I met myself lying, I met myself pretending, being in dysfunctional relationship. The amount of investment that I had done in my dysfunctional me, when I unplugged out of that, I then discovered that the power that I've been looking for outside is actually within me. So that mask, those shoes, I take out, people always ask me, so how many vitenges do you have? I even take them out. And sometimes I'm saying, it's because of camera sometimes, but more than that. And I'm not saying we shouldn't look after ourselves. I'm saying, master the shadow. Because the shadow is carrying quite a bit of your essence. And the shadow is the person you are showing to the world. You want the world to see you in a certain way. When the world stopped to exist for me, I started to live as me. When you take off that. Secondly, and last, live like you are the only project that exists. The only project that exists. Because when I discovered Project Me, is when I created what I'm calling Be Woman by Nature. And I want to invite you, please follow the Be Woman page on Facebook. We have just rebranded it. The whole idea is healing for the women, self-mastery for the woman. It is your personal brand, so my lady, your personal brand is not your clothes or what you look like. Your personal brand is your energy type. We all have an energy type. We all have an essence. So be a woman because you're a woman by nature. Thank you so much.
So 𝗙ecie, our last one. So I'm serving you for last as the youngest in the room. And because you're the girl child on this panel. Doing it for the woman and for the girl child. Let's come back.
Okay, so for me, loving yourself begins with first knowing yourself, knowing who you are, knowing why you are here. It's very hard to love something you don't know, or if you don't know yourself, how do you love yourself adequately? It begins from there. Secondly and lastly is invest in yourself. Invest in your learning continuously. Invest in your growth, in your well-being, in your leadership, in your wisdom, and most especially in your Christian walk. Invest in all those areas. We are all trying to do so many things, become very many things. We cannot leave behind our well-being and our growth because we're taking them along with us. And the more we grow, the better we become.
Thank you.
I would say fix your ecosystem. I want you to know that it's not just the one thing you choose to address that's going to solve your entire life, because sometimes we fix one thing and then we go and contaminate ourselves with the rest of the decisions we've made. So analyze your entire ecosystem. I have what I like to call relationship 360. And if you think of a vertical and a horizontal line, the top part of the vertical line are your relationships of honor. Go back to your family system, like Dr. Bridget said. Analyze the relationships that have influenced you, those generational patterns and tendencies that you have the power to break. The bottom part of that vertical line are your relationships of purpose. The value that any living, breathing soul has is premised on the impact they make in the world by being a blessing to other people. The only reason anybody would want to take a selfie with me is because of the work I do. Not anything, not any material thing. Our true value, the reason you pay so much money for that iPhone is because of the problems it can fix for you. I'm a worker. I serve people, and that's where the value of Pastor Gladys comes from. You must bring up other people. You don't need to have a platform, you don't need to register an organization, but there is that little cousin, there's a niece. By the way, the girl child is going to fall in love with the boy child. There's that nephew, there's that boy who you need to nurture and speak life to. The horizontal line on the right hand speaks to your right hand people, your peers. Sometimes all it takes for me is to give my sister in Zimbabwe a call. I don't even tell her the issue, but there's such a thing called sibling therapy. I want to encourage you, you know, the relationships God has given to us with our siblings. If any of you has sibling rivalry, you're not doing well with your sisters, your brothers, go fix those relationships because they break an entire system when they are not healthy. The other end of the horizontal line, finally, your weak hand. That's where your coaches, your mentors come in. Mentorship is a gift that you have that you don't pay the price for, that someone else has already paid. I'm here with my mentee, 𝗵𝗶𝗶, and 𝗵𝗶𝗶, are you 30 yet? She's not even 30 yet. I am 50 next week, huh? Yes, so universe bring the luck. So yes, I don't teach 𝗵𝗶𝗶 what I knew at 25. I teach her what I know at 50. So at 25, she has an advantage of knowing everything that a 49, almost 50-year-old woman knows today. So fix your ecosystem and you will thrive.
Ms. 𝗙ecie, you have an opportunity to close our session.
Yeah, thanks. For me, to where I am loving myself today, all started with
me not loving myself a long time ago, I had various personalities for different people. Like this personality goes to this one, that personality goes to this, and it depended on how you brought yourself up to me first. So you'd be like, this one is rude. So okay, I'll be timid with this one. This one is confident. Oh, okay. Let's and I didn't like that because I wasn't finding myself and I didn't know who I was. So I didn't know if I should love myself or not. My self-love was also coming from the people that supported me away from the stigma that I was facing from the fact that I am an albino. Others used to like stay away from me because they were scared of me. But I loved the people that were with me and told me that you're perfect, you're very beautiful, you're uniquely you, you are Black Person 2.0, you are special edition beautiful. And my family, I love those people. Because every time I'd be like so low, without even addressing it or noticing it, they would hold a family movie night on Friday and they would pick a movie that would boost my self-esteem. Like, example, Wanda, I watched that child that was ugly. That was born ugly, people hated him, people didn't want to be near him, but there was that one friend and his family that supported him. And I was like, okay, cool, I related to that. And I like it. And the other one, 𝗙ecie, the Zambian Netflix, I love that movie. And they made me watch it. So the movie night, and I built myself with the people that are around me who loved me. I separated myself from the people that were giving me bad vibes, bad energy, and bad stuff like that. And I found myself, I stopped splitting personalities. I started testing people. That, okay, here's the real me. If you like me, I'll stay. If you don't like me, I'm leaving. And my twin brother is the only one that knows the whole of me. Like, I might filter myself with other people because I'm trying to be careful. But with my twin brother, he knows everything. And I might be figuring out myself because I still have a long way to go, but I love the progress right now. Like, I love myself right now.
And trust me, 𝗙cie, we love what we have seen, and now I understand why Dr. Bridget was saying she likes Gen Zs. Yes. All right, ladies, shall we all be upstanding? Up next will be Miss Anastasia Lundu, who will be coming to talk to us. But I just wanted to do an exercise, and 𝗙cie is going to help me. There are those things that you were saying. In your generation, they say vibing. Yes, you were saying you're beautiful. There's something else that you say. You're uniquely, special edition. So I want you to lead us in telling ourselves just what you say. Can I pass on the microphone to you? Ah, there you go. All right. So I'm going to count up to 3, and you will give us those words of affirmation as we close the panel discussion. 𝗙cie, are you ready? Yeah. Oh, take the mic, my lady. 1, 2, 3.
You're uniquely you.
Yes.
Special edition.
Yes.
VIP Black.
Yes. So that was a drill now. So you will say I am, and we'll be responding to telling the same to ourselves. Okay?
So uniquely you, special edition, VIP Black.
Okay. Shall we go? Yes. All right. 1, 2, 3. You are. You are. Special edition. You are. VIP Black. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, you may take your seats, and thank you so much to our beautiful panel. Thank you for all the nuggets. We appreciate you. And thank you so much for doing this for the woman, for the girl child. It's now my honor and privilege to call upon Miss Anastasia M. Lundu. She's Executive Director, 𝗙vie. Let's give her a round of applause.
Okay.
Good afternoon. Please allow me to write on the protocols that have already been established. I wanted to stand here, but then I like people. So is it okay if I can have
Please, by all means, to go ahead. Do you want to go up there?
No, but down there.
Okay, please, feel free.
So what I want to share is really going to pick up on the conversations that our amazing panel has brought up. Sister D, can I just go? I'm really happy to meet you in person. I've followed your music since I was a little girl. Ma'am, I'm very touched that you didn't say my mentee, Anastasia. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much to the wonderful group for the opportunity that they have given me to stand here and just have this chat with you. My name is Anastasia Munyati-Lundu. I am the founder of a holistic health, nutrition and wellness center that is called 𝗄𝗵𝗶𝗹. So you might ask 𝗄𝗵𝗶𝗹. So I went through a journey that started with COVID-19. Before COVID, I was very active, very tiny. I used to run. 10 kilometers was a very small mountain for me. COVID hit, and that was 2021. My health started to deteriorate from that point. So the first episode that I had, when I got out of it, I thought, let me go back on the road. So I started to run, and my feet felt like I was stepping on coals of fire. How many of you had COVID back then? And you experienced the burning feet? Okay, every symptom was unique to everybody. So I went back to run, and I couldn't run. I felt like I was stepping on coals of fire. So I went back home, and I'm like, oh, apparently I'm not yet healed. So little did I know that that was the beginning of hell for my life. So that year I had COVID twice. One of the incidences almost got me to say goodbye to the earth. So I was rushed to the hospital. We got to the hospital. My oxygen levels were really, really low. And fortunately, because in my home we kind of established this thing about traditional medicines, Luena and everything. So as we were going to the hospital, I was in a bucket of Luena like this. So when we got to the hospital, they checked my oxygen levels, was very, very low. So they're trying to figure out oxygen and everything. By the time they're coming back, my saturation had gone back up, so I didn't have to have an oxygen. So fast forward, by the time it's 2024, I have had COVID 6 times. Once every year. So unfortunately, when you've had multiple COVID episodes, it meant that my immune system was very suppressed. I started having migraines. I stopped interacting with people like this. If I'm speaking like this, I can't talk this fast anymore because I need to catch my breath. I was wearing a mask from 2021 all the way up until last year, the beginning of the year. I stopped going to church for a whole year. I literally just stopped functioning. I was a newlywed, supposed to be enjoying my marriage, 2022, and unfortunately my husband became the one that leads me to, everything that I have to do. So that, I developed cardiac failure, stage 1 diastolic heart failure. My feet were this swollen. Sinuses continuously inflamed. Even talking couldn't happen because of my heart health. So last year, I was at 96 kgs, obese, endometriosis, PCOS, hormonal imbalances, name it all. Perimenopausal, menopause symptoms, everything that an old person experiences, I experienced that. I mean, for my age. So everything I was going through, conventional medicine, the best hospitals in the country, we found ourselves abroad, Cape Town, Johannesburg, in the US, looking for medical attention. It all failed. So holistic health and wellness became the answer. Changed everything that I ate, started to move my body slowly. Within a month, the swelling in my feet started to disappear. 2 months later, my heart, I was constantly on an odometer to monitor my heart rhythms and everything. Within 2 months, my heart healed. I went back to the hospital last year in August, and they found that heart failure which I had no longer exists. So that led to the birth of 𝗄𝗏𝗶𝗹 Wellness Center. And at the clinic, we basically handle non-communicable diseases. You think about hypertension, diabetes, cardiac disease, women's health issues, endometriosis, fibroids, PCOS, all those things, hormonal imbalances. But what we do is different from what a conventional hospital would do. We work in support to conventional medicine. But then for us, it's can we get to work with you to the point where your illness is reversed to a point where your doctor will say, you can now stop taking your diabetic medication. We use food as medicine, and the herbs and spices that you find in your kitchen as your regular medication. So when we talk about women moving, Doc, you mentioned gym and exercising, it's very important. But then, even if you can't afford to use a gym, the basic you can do is just walk 30 minutes daily. It's free of charge. That really transforms your health as a woman. And so it doesn't have to be that complicated. When you're dealing with obesity issues and dealing with matters of weight loss, you don't have to starve yourself. You still eat your food. You just have to learn the right way to do it. And then you lose the weight. I'm at 63 kgs, girl, from 96 kgs under 1 year. I don't have heart disease anymore. I do not have endometriosis anymore. I do not have hormonal imbalances anymore. The hot flashes are gone. I don't have menopausal symptoms anymore. I no longer suffer from fibroids. All I did is just choose to go the holistic health and wellness way. And I'm not taking any medication for any condition that I used to have. So basically, this is how wellness for me looks like. Even when we look at our mental health, which is the conversation for today. You see, there's a relationship between your brain and your gut. If there's a mess here, it's a mess here. The brain fog that you have, the migraines that you have, the forgetting this and that, if you clean here, it cleans here. We recently had somebody come
We were about to give you a round of applause.
Thank you. So, 2 seconds. We recently had a gentleman come in, and he's been on antidepressants for like 6 years. So he came in, and we just did some protocols for him. Within a week, he called and he said, I'm now able to sleep. I'm not even taking my medication anymore, and I can feel that I'm getting where I'm supposed to be in terms of my mental health. So it just changes with what you eat, and then your health will improve. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Ms. Anne. Happy that you've shared your story, and of course it's inspiring. I think it's also just nice to know that with simple actions we can make drastic changes when it comes to our health. So Ms. Anne is somewhere in the room. We have a networking session. So you will sit with her and ask her how she did it, because that fog that you're talking about, the forgetting where the phone is, sometimes even where you parked at the shopping mall, or forgetting you had a report that you needed to hand over at some point, right? Maybe even forgetting your line of thoughts when you start talking. Anne is in the room. Allow me now at this point, ladies and gentlemen, we've talked about the upcoming marathon. It's a big deal. But there's one lady that we know. When we talk about marathon, this lady has an inspiring story. She's coming through to talk to you and just share her story very quickly. after which the marathon committee will tell us and give us more detail around the 30th of May. So just ask the person next to you, have you signed up for the Girl Child? Ask the other person, have you signed up for the marathon? Signed up for the Girl Child? All right, Ms. 𝗵𝗵𝗶, please come through and just talk to us. See what people, you see what fitness people do. Instead of using the shortcut, she goes all the way around. And not too long ago, I saw her, she had given us a brief around a marathon she had. She was climbing the hills in Chirundu. In that heat, Ms. 𝗵𝗵𝗶, you're very inspiring, you know that. I want to be like you. What can I do? Please give us the story.
Good afternoon, ladies. My name is 𝗵𝗵𝗶, aka Superwoman. Yeah, I'm Superwoman. Okay, so I've asked you to stand because we've been sitting for a long time, and I'm going to tell you about things that you can do at home to get fitter, to become better. All these things that we've heard today cannot happen if you are not fit or if you are unwell, if you are unhealthy. So it doesn't have to take the whole day for you to lead a healthy lifestyle. Like everyone else has said, like Dr. Bridget, I also went through a lot of what she went through. I was very timid girl. I'm sure Rachel knows that. I worked with Rachel when we were very young in the 𝗙cie𝗺 Center in those days. Yeah. Yeah. So I had anemia for the longest time, and I believed I couldn't do anything. I was obese. So one day there was a women's meeting, women's aerobics. I went there, got inspired. I didn't even know that I can do a 5K. So went to that workout, and today the story is different. I moved from being a couch potato to the superwoman that I am today. I think I'm in the country. I'm the only woman that has run 114 kilometers continuously. So if I can do it, you can also do a 5K. You can get up in the morning and do that 30 minutes walk. Yeah. So you can do anything that you put your mind to. There's this ultra marathon in South Africa. It's called the Comrades Marathon. So I've done that 8 times. This year will be my 9th time, and it's 90 kilometers. So 2 days ago, I went to Chirundu so that I can train for this upcoming marathon. So I did 60 kilometers in the hills of Chirundu all the way to 𝗙cie𝗺. And here I am today. My feet are okay, so it's baby steps that you have to take every day. So with this upcoming marathon, it doesn't have to be a one-day event. It has to be an everyday thing. You don't have to take the whole day to exercise. Just 30 minutes a day is enough. So I'm going to show you small moves that you can do at home as we get ready for the wonderful marathon, for the girl child, for the women. You women carry a lot of things at home. Even those, the shopping that you do, all those bags that you carry, all the babies that you lift, you need to be, yes, you need to be fit, you need to be healthy, you need to have mobility in you. I rarely talk about my age, but today you'll be privileged to hear how old I am. I am 44 years old. But all these youngsters, these Gen Zs, they're always coming to my inbox, hey babe, I'm like, oh, I'm old enough to be a mother. So fitness makes you feel good about yourself. Fitness makes you look young. Fitness makes you do your professional work. It makes you be the mother that you're supposed to be. It makes you actually have you time. The 60 Ks that I was doing, I took about, I think, 6 hours. That's a lot of time for me to think about myself, a lot of time to introspect, a lot of time to make plans, you know what I mean? Even as we say, as you are there for everybody else, you need to create time for yourself. So for me, I create time to run, I create time to exercise. Many of the times that we say we don't have time to exercise, exercise doesn't have to be the whole day. 30 minutes a day, 10 minutes a day is enough. So let's get ready for the wonderful marathon. It's okay to walk, it's okay to run, it's okay to crawl to the finish line. So give yourself a target that this coming marathon, I'm going to do it for myself, I'm going to do it for the woman, I'm going to do it for the girl child, I'm going to do it for the country, because a healthy country is a productive country. So here we are. I know you are in your suits. You are in your suits. So just do this 10 minutes in a day. When you wake up, you do your prayers, your journaling, whatever it is, but also add a little exercise. It goes a long way. When you are starting, it's very, very difficult, but once you get into the routine, it's very easy. I'm sure most of you wonder where I get the time or how I do it. Before I go to the office, I actually work for Airtel. I have a professional job at Airtel. Before I go there, I would have run 21 Ks and I'm there in the office sitting. Because not every morning, but I do it. And many people would not know that that's what I did. Because I create time. I wake up early. I'm not lazy. I am very, what can I say? I'm a very active woman. Yes, I'm energized because exercise energizes me. It makes your mind be alert. I used to be a very lazy girl. I can't do this. But when I took that first step, here I am today. I'm running 90 Ks as if nothing happened. You know. So if I can do 90 Ks, you can do your 5K, you can do your 10K, you can do your 15K, you can do your 21K at this wonderful marathon. But for you to get there, it's not supposed to be a once-off event. You need to practice, you need to work towards it. Because a marathon should just inspire you, and that maybe should be a sign that you did something for yourself. Okay? I hope that little speech has inspired someone. Yeah. So let's do these stretches.
Okay, so Sister D has requested, she's Nigerian, she's saying just one thing.
I'm so encouraged about what she's saying, but I wanted to share my experience as well. I climbed Mount Kilimanjaro to 19,341 feet, up to the Uhuru Peak, to fight for land rights for women. So what she's saying is real. If you are determined and know what you want to do, you can do it. So I have been to heaven, because that's heaven, Mount Kilimanjaro. I just wanted to share that. Thank you.
Okay, so 10 minutes. Oh yeah, let me come here so that you can see me. As short as I am, I'm a dynamite, I believe. Okay, so let's go. So, right there. So this works on your phone. Remember, as you are running, so if you're there, you're working on your phone, right? And the best place I'm in. Yeah. So these are simple things that you can do. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Limpo, and I believe that with that we are definitely ready for the marathon. And in the spirit of being ready for the marathon, yeah, guys, how long was that? It was just a minute and I can hardly breathe. Limpo, that message was definitely for me. Miss Anne, that was definitely for me as well. Like 1 minute and I can't even breathe, guys. It is my honor and privilege to call upon from wonderful group, Miss Rachel and Miss 𝗙cie𝗺 to come and run us through the upcoming marathon, the details that we need to know. A round of applause.
Hi ladies, good morning again. Oh, good afternoon. I'm trying to catch my breath from the 1 minute of working out. So we don't want to waste more time from you. Of course, we started a little bit late, so I'd like to apologize for that. So we'll make our briefs very quick and very exciting. First of all, we'd like to acknowledge our sponsors. We have 𝗙ecie𝗺, putting us first. They are our main sponsor for the marathon. And as of this morning, we have the big machines, 𝗙cie𝗺𝗵𝗭. They are also joining the main sponsor team. So it's a wonderful group marathon powered by 𝗙cie𝗺 and 𝗵𝗭. And we'd like to also thank our other sponsors who are also supporting us in more than monetary. We'd like to thank 𝗵𝗭. We'd like to thank Fit by 𝗵𝗭. From Big Tree and Trade Kings. They will be hydrating us during the activation runs. We have one this weekend. I'm sure LFS will post and will also circulate. So they will be hydrating us throughout from now all the way to our marathon day. We'd also want to thank 𝗙𝗵𝗶. We'd like to thank Indobank, FNB, 𝗙ście Insurance. They've insured the whole marathon. If anything happens, they will be there alongside to help us through it all. We would like to thank International Hospital of Zambia, the former Fairview. They will be there even when we are picking our kits, making sure those who have not done their vitals, you will do your vitals on that day because the fit nation is a what? A healthy nation. Yes. So we'd like to thank everyone else, and I hope I did not leave anyone. And a special and very special sponsor, 𝗵𝗭. Allow me to just say a few more words for 𝗵𝗭. Normally on a lot of marathons and events, you see a lot of vendors coming on board. So what they are doing is they are buying just a little space just for them to be able to sell and support through selling. But 𝗵𝗭 said no. This is a women initiative. They are going to sponsor monetary to the cause. And they are also going to make sure we have our coffees and our pastries just after we are coming from the run. So we also encourage you guys to also come through, have coffees and pastries and juices, but know in the back of your head that this is a company that has come out to also sponsor this cause. Please, let's give them a round of applause. Okay. We'd like to thank wonderful group companies, the companies that makes us a group. They've also sponsored this marathon. We have Marco Polo Towels. They are coming in as a prime sponsor with a lot of money. We also have wonderful industry who have come on board as well, and other companies like 𝗵𝗭 machineries that you don't get to hear about the most. They're the ones that does construction. They're the powerhouse behind Wonderful Group. We don't mention them a lot because we get keep. We don't want anyone else to use them. They're the ones that constructed this building. They're the ones that does machinery for all our companies, including factories.
And also the ones renovating the 2 roundabouts.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen. We have the 𝗭𝗺 roundabout and the 𝗭𝗺 roundabout being revamped by a wonderful group of companies. But the company that is driving this is 𝗵𝗭 Machineries. Maybe we can give them a round of applause. We won't waste much time to mention about the routes and stuff. I'm sure you'll see it on our socials very soon. I just have one piece of good news to mention. Our kit has arrived. It's here at Wonderful Group. So very soon we'll start doing our distribution. I'm sure you will see all of it on our socials. So we encourage everyone to sign up. Without taking much time from you, Ms. Chico, I would like to mention this. A lot of companies have come to ask what it is that we are doing for the girl child. You can't say the girl child without doing anything. Our answer is very simple. We are advocating. We are calling on everyone to do something for the girl child, protect the girl child, support the girl child. The cause is so broad. Even alone, we won't be able to be successful in it. But the more people that can come on board to support, the better. Meraki, we know you have the chocolate cake, you have all sorts of different cakes. If we can have a pink cake that day for the girl child, we really, really appreciate. International Hospital of Zambia, they've been doing some services that are free for women. We applaud you. If we can have more of that, that would be great. We will be grateful. Sanako, they have women banking together with other banks that are here. 𝗙liche Insurance. So we are calling everyone to join in this cause. Even in our homes, we can all do it. So thank you once again, and I'll leave it to Ms. Chico to give us the exciting parts of the marathon. Thank you.
Good afternoon, ladies and the few gentlemen. So one of the gentlemen walked up to me and he said, these meetings for women, so there's even no break. You guys just keep talking and talking and talking. I think we could have done this the whole day. I think for me, there were some parts that were touched inside of me that maybe I didn't even know that I had maybe some trauma. And at some point, I felt like I needed a hug. But I'm just happy that we had this meeting. And now I know someone spoke about therapy. I think I must really consider therapy. I must really consider it. But so just wanted to give a few details about the marathon. So it's on the 30th of this month. If you haven't signed up, places are feeling like the cake from Meraki. So you ensure that you just register. So it's a 500 kwacha. We have a discount for women because it's for the girl child. It's for the woman, which is 480. We've slashed the 20%. A 20 kwacha actually. And also for the girl child that is below. Why you, isn't that not a discount? Even 2% is a discount. And then also for the girl child that is below 18 years, we've also slashed a 50 kwacha for them because we want the whole family to come and run. So another detail that we wanted to share about the marathon is that after we finish running, we have what we are calling the wonderful concerts. This is the part where you clap. We have the wonderful concert. So Sister D is actually one of the people that are going to be performing. There's a whole lot of other artists that I can't disclose now, but just stay glued to our Facebook page. That is the Wonderful Group Marathon, and we'll share the details. So we can't wait for all of you on the 30th. Like Limpo said, if you can't walk, if you can't run, you can walk. And if you can't walk, you can crawl, so long as you get to the finish line. So let's come out together in numbers and come and support the girl child, the woman, and Zambia at large. Thank you very much.
The artists are actually 12 as of today. There's a lot of artists, there's 12 of them. Can I mention that Pastor Washi is coming for the girl child as well? Yeah, a whole lot of artists are coming on board. So we look forward to seeing you. Please come. If not for you, for the girl child, for your daughter, for your mother, please do come. We'll see you at the starting line. Thank you very much, ladies. Yes.
Thank you so much, ladies. Indeed, we'll see you at the starting line and at the finish line as well. Round of applause for Ms. Rachel and Mr. 𝗙cie. We are in the dying minutes of our program, and of course, we're closing with closing remarks that will be delivered by Ms. 𝗵𝗶𝗶𝗹. I think she's a lady. Let's support her. Let's give her a round of applause. Thank you.
So we're having a challenge.
Thank you so much. Limpo, 10 minutes later, we're still breathing deeply. Good afternoon once again, and thank you so much for coming through. Whilst riding on the protocols already observed this morning, on behalf of the wonderful group of companies, it has been our absolute honor to host the Enough conversation today with such a powerful panel filled with inspirational women. As we conclude, we look at the incredible path paved by the women on this stage, leaders who once started as girls with a dream. Our deepest gratitude goes to our guest of honor, the Honorable Minister of Justice, Madam Princess 𝗙cie𝗺 MP, for her steadfast leadership in her ministerial role and her many other roles. What a powerful speech she gave to begin the event. I know it left a lot of us all energized, motivated, and hopeful for the future. We also thank our panelists for the wisdom that has been shared here with us today. At this point, out of respect for our panelists, I must mention your names. Dr. Sikana, Sister D, Madam Dabutsankat, Dr. Kambove of Trade Kings, Dr. Chanda Chime Katongo of Zanako, 𝗄𝗵𝗿, of course, 𝗄𝗵𝗿 Nyasulu, the girl child representative, Madam Chomba Mwansa of Meraki, and Pastor Gladys Paswani, and of course not forgetting the Honorable Minister of Justice. A round of applause for this amazing panel. To our dear panelists, we thank you so much for taking our time to be with us this morning, going into the afternoon, in order to grace us with your presence and share your life stories with us. We know these are very busy times, and we do not take this opportunity to sit with you all and hear your views on these very important matters. We do not take this for granted. Each of you has proven that being enough is not just a phrase, but a way of life. Thank you all for showing the girl child that there is no ceiling too high and that the sky is our stepping stone. To the phenomenal women in the audience, the leaders, the mothers, and the change makers, thank you for your presence. Together, we are the heartbeat of the conversation. Your stories and your strength are what makes the community enough. Last but not the least, our sponsors, before Zanako bites my head off, we appreciate you so much, and all the other sponsors that Madam Rachel has mentioned today. We appreciate your immense support to this initiative. We say thank you. At Wonderful Group, we believe that the uplifting of a girl child, of a woman, is the uplifting of a nation. Let us not just leave this room, let us take this spirit back to our homes and communities for a better and stronger Zambia. Thank you all for joining us, and we will see you at the marathon. Thank you so much.
Okay, I guess I'll say it just the way she said it. Thank you all so much, and we'll see you at the marathon.
To every woman, you are important.
It was meant to empower us, make us introspect. It was about being vulnerable and open. It was about calling out that little girl child and bringing her out so that she can thrive. So thank you so much for being here, whether as a sponsor, as an invited delegate, as a panelist, or as a director of ceremony. Thank you all for making it possible. We love you, especially the MC. Oh, talking about the MC. So I think I already mentioned that I had to let go of my corporate job because I was really carrying so many things. And it got to a point where I said, you know what, some things need to be dropped. And I did let go of my corporate job. And I remember one thing my boss, when I was saying bye to him, he said, you know what, I will allow you to just go and rest because I think you need it. That's because for quite a long period, I had carried so many things. The parenting that we were talking about, the business, the entrepreneurship that I had started, and it was about making a choice. The mental health was an issue. I actually did therapy as well. And then also I had a little child, so there was the pregnancy as well, post-pregnancy. So you can imagine what I was carrying. And there had to be a point where I had to make a choice to choose myself. Because if I didn't show up the next day for the job, they were going to hire somebody else. God forbid, if I didn't show up as my best for the children, they wouldn't have had a mother. So it's things like this that wonderful group has come up with and really, really touched my heart, and I'm grateful for the opportunity to stand before you. So one of the positive things that came out of the choices was the start of Thrive TV. I have a TV station now, which I chose out of the many choices, and we're on Top Search Channel 130. Thank you so much for supporting the girl child and for supporting a woman entrepreneur. So we look forward to doing this for the girl child. Thrive TV will be there to carry live the marathon and everything, because we need to take this message of the girl child out there. Thank you so much. And now we draw your attention to the screen. Okay, to the wonderful screen.
To every woman, you are important. In every stage of life, in every space you stand, in every journey, across every background, across every generation, across every path you walk. Different paths, one strength. On the 30th of May, 2026, we run together.
For the girl child. For the women.
For Zambia!
I guess we all know what we need to do, right? But since that was my voice, Ms. Rachel, can I do this? When I say on the 30th of May, you say, we run together. Can we do it? Okay. On the 30th of May, we run together. No, let's do it again. Ms. Bridget, please, everybody get up, because after this, you will be going for your meals. Okay.
So we have the last week for the girl, for the woman, and for them.
Let me see so that I can make sure I can see it. And you know why I'm doing this? Because I know that there are cameras that are capturing. So when they do their documentary, it will look so pretty. Okay. So did you say we say for the girl child? For the women? Okay. Are we going to remember? Okay, perfect. On the 30th of May, we run together for the girl child, for the women, from Zambia. Thank you so much. May now proceed for you to have some refreshments. And that's the end. Thank you all for being here. We love you and we celebrate you.